Yeah, good morning, friends. Welcome to this session on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. We start the session with a prayer to Maharishi Patanjali. May he bless us with his divine wisdom so that we can understand Patanjali Yoga Sutras and use the power in them for the upliftment of our family, upliftment of our society, upliftment of our country, and upliftment of the people of the world at large. Please start. That's all. Yeah, good morning to all of you again. Yesterday, I had requested you to do a 10-minute exercise that just sit alone for 10 minutes undisturbed and notice your thoughts. What thoughts are actually coming to you? Have you been able to do it? No?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Uh,
Mm,
yes, Jayshankar, let us start with you. Kindly share the thoughts which came to you.
Sir, like I said, I'm right now. I'm suffering from some ailment in the eye.
Okay,
It is
okay,
called optical neuritis,
okay,
and in this you will lose vision of eyes.
okay,
This has affected my right eye.
okay,
So most of my thoughts are revolving around that only because the allopathic way of treatment, the doctor has said that there can't be 100% recovery. So whenever I try to sit and I think like I want to reflect on myself and inwards. The only thoughts that come to my mind are about this only. So
Okay,
this and
can we say these thoughts are coming out of imagination and they are coming out of the past? Past
even
in the
present
sense,
also.
in the present
Mm.
also. Okay,
Because right now I can't see from my right eye,
okay,
and a few months back this started, like this affected my eye.
okay,
So because of this, like my everyday activities have got affected, and my future is a little insecure.
okay.
So
You
with
see,
those thoughts.
you have to look at it the way I am asking you to look at it.
Mm,
Are some thoughts coming from the past? If my eyes have gone bad, they are not working. Something
mm,
from the past, what the doctors have told you. Okay.
mm,
Then there is some thought coming from the future, fear of the future. What will
mm,
happen
mm,
to me? Probably, if you have
mm,
a family, what will happen to my family? How will I
mm,
earn? How will I last in
mm,
life? So
mm,
there is
yes.
something coming from the future also, right?
Mm, mm,
So yeah, um, and then have you picked up some knowledge on the subject? Have you done some
yes.
research? Have you gone to the internet and seen what the subject is all about and
Yes,
what
yes,
happens to such patients? Yeah.
yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay. So
Uh,
so this is right knowledge. You see, I'm
mm,
trying to point out what kind of thoughts actually come. Thoughts
mm,
which come to a human being are essentially of five types. Okay.
mm,
The first type is which comes out of right knowledge. Whatever knowledge is out there, which is right, it comes from there. That
mm,
is one. Second is wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge means there might be something which might be true, but you do not know it is true. Or there might be something which is false, but which you are considering to be true. Okay?
mm,
So
mm,
that is false knowledge. So knowledge, whether true or false, is a thought. That is the point I'm trying to make. Okay.
mm, mm,
The third is we get our thoughts from our memory. All our thoughts are coming from our memory. We recollect many things. We
mm,
recall many things.
mm.
And what we recollect, what we recall is the cause of our thoughts. Then
Sir,
we
can I ask?
imagine, sorry,
Sir, you're saying कि our thoughts coming from memory of this life or memory from subconscious mind?
उस पर थोड़ा अपने बाद में आते हैं. I'll answer your question, but I'm keeping it very, very elementary at this stage. We'll slowly build up.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Memory can be from this life, memory can be from past lives also. It can be from 1,000 lives earlier also. It could be
Yes, sir.
from
That's what.
10,000 lives earlier also. Okay.
Yeah, that's.
But
Yeah.
right now I'm just using the word memory क्योंकि बहुत लोग जानते नहीं होंगे संस्कारों के बारे में and how they come. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
just keep it restricted ourselves to memory at this stage. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So thoughts come from memory and thoughts come from imagination. When I imagine something, I'm creating a thought. And there is a fifth variety of thought, fifth variety of change of mind. You know, that is when we sleep. When we sleep, our mind goes through changes. So those changes are also a source of thoughts. Now, in this, let us go back to what Patanjali says. Okay, let us go back to the first sutra. The first sutra says, Atha Yoga Anushasanam. In the now, in the now, the discipline of yoga begins. In the now is the discipline of yoga. So when you are in the now, there is no right knowledge in that instant. There is no wrong knowledge in that instant. You are right there in that moment. There is no past in that moment. There is no future in that moment. There is no sleep in that moment because you're aware. So if we are able to live moment to moment in the now, in a disciplined manner, yoga is said to happen automatically. As simple as that. The first sutra, only if you follow of yoga, you will achieve yoga. What is yoga? Yoga means the ability to have peace of mind and power. That is yoga. So when there are no thoughts, in Jayashankar, your case, about the disease, about what the doctors have told you, about what you fear, and you are not sleeping at that point of time, you will be at peace. You will feel power. So when you are at peace, you are the most powerful. And when you are the most powerful, the healing of the body will happen the fastest because you are at
Hmm.
Sir,
peace.
can
Yes,
sir, can we understand the meaning of power to manifest?
yes, it can be power to do anything you desire.
Okay.
Power to do anything you desire. I will expand on this, okay, as we move on. But
Okay.
what happens is when a mind is at peace, when a mind has no thoughts, then it is in the most powerful state. Then
Hmm.
they say God resides in there. You see, the second sutra of Patanjali, he says there yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha. Yoga happens when the thoughts in the mind are diminished, are reduced, are ceased, are put to rest. जब हम अपने माइंड के थॉट्स को खत्म कर देते हैं तब योग हो जाता है. किसका योग होता है? Who is achieving yoga? What is yoga? One definition of yoga is that it is the union, coming together of the individual with the universal, of the finite with the infinite, of the limited with the unlimited, of the human with the divine. This is one definition of yoga. You see, we have the finite in us and we have the infinite in us. We have the body in us, we have the mind in us. Both of them are finite. But we have the divine in us. We have a consciousness which is eternal. We have a consciousness which is permanent. That is the divine in us. When when we are able to transcend, when we are able to move from the finite to the infinite, when we are able to move our awareness from the limited to the unlimited, when we are able to move our awareness from the individual to the universal, yoga happens. So Patanjali says that yoga is a discipline to be practiced in the now. Practice it now. And second, he says, when you put your mind to rest, when you put your thoughts to rest, the infinite appears in you, the universal appears in you, the unlimited appears in you, the divine appears in you. So all we have to do is to know how to put our thoughts to rest. What are the thoughts? Where are they coming from? And how to cut them at the root so they do not come. Now the question is, are all thoughts bad? No. Some thoughts are good. There will be thoughts which will take you on the path of yoga. And there will be thoughts which will be obstacles in the path of yoga. So we will see further down what are these thoughts which are obstacles to the path of yoga, and what are these thoughts which are beneficial on the path of yoga. But the subject of discussion now is what thoughts are we getting? Let us look at thoughts more in detail. Yeah, so Jayashankar, any questions on what I have said so far?
No, sir. I'm grasping it.
Okay.
I think, but I think you said 5 kinds of thoughts.
That's right.
Uh,
I will repeat them for you. And those of you who want to note down can note down. First thought is right knowledge. Second thought is wrong knowledge. Third is memory. Thoughts come from memory. Fourth is imagination. Thoughts come from our imagination. And fifth is sleep. We undergo a change of mind when we sleep. So we go through different cycles. So thoughts keep on changing. Sometimes we are aware about what we thought while sleeping. Sometimes we are aware about some of our dreams while we are sleeping. Sometimes we have no sense. We are unconscious. We are in deep sleep. We don't know what happened. So we lose our awareness. That also is a change of state of mind. When I'm awake, I'm aware. When I'm in deep sleep, I'm not aware. So let us look at that sutra again. Yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha.
Sir, I had a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Can we have guided thoughts in the sense that, you have an intention before you're sitting and contemplating and you're guiding yourself?
So you can only guide yourself out of either memory or imagination.
Okay.
Either you're imagining something and guiding yourself, or you have memorized something, you are coming from the past and guiding yourself.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so it is very basic, right? Now let us look where the right knowledge comes from. What does Patanjali say about right knowledge? He says there are दीपा जी आप अपने माइक को अनम्यूट करेंगी प्लीज और म्यूट करेंगी प्लीज ओके सो right knowledge comes one from the sense organs. Whatever I have seen with my eyes is right knowledge. That is the first one. Whatever I have seen with my sense organs, experience with my sense organs is right knowledge. Second, whatever I am able to logically infer is right knowledge. For example, I see a hilltop and I see smoke coming there. Then I can say, if there is smoke coming there, there must be fire. So this is inference. This is logical inference, logical deduction. This also is accepted as right knowledge. Third is agama. Agama means verbal testimonial from experts or ancient scriptures. So if some rishis, yogis, maharishis have said something, then we believe them because they are experts in their field. So agama can be from ancient scriptures. It can be what has been heard from the past. It is called Shruti. It can be what has been memorized from the past. That is Smriti. It can be based on some expert in a field saying something which you believe. Say, when you go to an expert doctor for his opinion, you believe him. When you go to an expert lawyer, you believe him. So when you're going to an expert and his testimonial or his guidance is considered to be sacrosanct, so that is true knowledge. What is wrong knowledge? Something which you consider to be true but is not true is wrong knowledge. Say, for instance, you are walking on a dark night on a road and your feet touch a rope and you think it is a snake. That is wrong knowledge. Anything which seems to be true but is actually not true is wrong knowledge. So having wrong knowledge can create thoughts in you. So right knowledge, wrong knowledge, both are creating thoughts. So that means knowledge by itself will create thoughts. And knowledge has only three ways of coming in. One is through your sense organs, what you have seen yourself. Second is what you have logically inferred. And third is what the experts have told you. There is no other way for knowledge to come in. But then this knowledge is stored. So this again is memory. Knowledge, right or wrong, is stored somewhere inside you. It is not hanging outside in the air. It is stored in your brain. It is stored in your memory cells. It is stored in your neurons. It is stored in your nerve cells. So third, we saw memory. Anything which is there in our memory can give thoughts. Those thoughts can be from today's life. Those thoughts can be from previous life. You might have certain thoughts. You might not know where they have come from. You've not experienced those things in this life, but the thoughts are coming. So that is probably a thought from a past life. Fourth is imagination. You are imagining something which has not yet happened. You have not yet seen it happening, but it is a concept which you are forming in your mind. And that leads to imagination. Imagination also actually comes from memory. How can you imagine something which you have never seen before, never heard before, never thought of before? Say, for instance, you have seen a horse and you have seen a goat. And now you create an imagination, an animal which has a body of a goat and a head of a horse. The Western world calls it creativity. This is not creativity. This is recall. Cut and paste is not creativity. Creativity happens when you have the access to the source of knowledge. And when you gain that access to the source of knowledge, what flows out is original. That is creative. That is what the world has never seen before, heard before, thought of before. So we will come to that also, how that happens. But right now we are focusing on thoughts, nature of thoughts, and there are 5 kinds of thoughts. So,
Sir,
yes,
sorry. Sir, I have seen something in book or something कि our mind can't imagine which I haven't seen.
नहीं दोबारा बोलिए मेरे को
Our
ठीक
mind
से
can't imagine.
what you can't imagine,
हेलो
okay? Yeah.
हाँ, जो हम वो चीज इमेजिन नहीं कर सकते जो हमने कभी देखी ना हो.
हाँ हाँ ये जब आप मेमोरी से ऑपरेट करती हैं तब ऐसा होता है. लेकिन जब आपका देयर इज अ सोर्स ऑफ नॉलेज और जहां से पूरा का पूरा ज्ञान आता है, जैसे जो इंसान ब्रह्म ज्ञानी बनता है उसने पूरा एक्सपीरियंस नहीं किया है. He is connected to the source of knowledge. He is able to retrieve from there as per his requirement. And you
Okay,
can even
it
check
can
this
go
out.
beyond that.
Yeah, you can check this out. It is called Akashic Records also. Few Britishers have done research on this. They call it the Akashic Records. You can Google it. And there is a way by which you can connect to those Akashic records and get answers to all your questions. If you have any question,
Can we do? Can we? Okay. Sorry, sir.
आप
Can we
नोट
do
कर
this
लीजिए.
during this course?
No, we will not be
Sir,
covering
I
Akashic
know.
records.
Okay, sir, I know about Akashic records.
Okay, fine. So that is a way of understanding, though even that is not authentic source, but yes, it is one way. It is between where we are today and where we should be sometime down the line. Okay, so it is a step in between Akashic records. Okay, now moving further ahead, we come back to the definition of yoga because that definition has the key to complete mastery of life. That that definition has the key to complete independence from this entire prakriti. How to become independent of this, how to come out of this. So let us look at it again. Yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha. So we have seen vritti. Vritti means a fluctuation in the mind, a modification in the mind, a change in the state of mind, a deviation in the change of mind. Vivekananda has given a good example to understand vrittis. He says, consider your mind like a lake, like a still lake, and then somebody throws a stone into it. So, this throwing of the stone, when it hits the water, that is when the state of the water changes. There are ripples now in the water. Those ripples are thoughts, those ripples are vrittis, those ripples are changes in the state of the mind. So, we have to keep a look for my mind changing its state. Whenever my mind will change its state, there will be a fluctuation, there will be a modification in the mind. Some people call it the thought current, some people call it thought, some people call it vrittis. Now, why is this so important? This is so important because it shapes your destiny. Each vritti, when it happens, it creates an impression. It creates an impression on your mind. Your mind registers. Any vritti you are conscious of, any vritti which is coming in number of times, any vritti which is coming in with force will get registered in your mind, will get registered in your chitta. That impression, some call it psychic impression, some call it subliminal impression, is called sanskaras. These sanskaras are records of what has happened to you. They are recording your experiences of life. So, similarly, my whole life, whatever activity that has happened in my mind is recorded. That is how some hypnotists are able to bring it out through hypnosis. My chitta carries a recording. My chitta carries impressions. My chitta carries impressions in my subconscious mind. So everything is recorded. And what is recorded again and again becomes a deep sanskara. What sanskara keeps on happening again and again becomes a vasana. Vasana means a strong desire. And whatever becomes a vasana, a strong desire, creates a willpower called sankalp. Whatever becomes a sankalp leads to karma. And whatever leads to karma, action, leads to vrittis again. So vrittis lead to sanskaras, sanskaras lead to vasanas, vasanas lead to sankalp, sankalp lead to karmas, karmas create further vrittis and sanskaras and vasanas. This is called sanskara chakram. You enter into a cycle, into a chakra, into a wheel of sanskaras. Sanskaras are constantly being generated. So when sanskaras are constantly being generated and they are connected to your karma never diminishes. Your karmic account continues. And when your karmic account continues, you keep on seeing the picture of your life and you keep on creating new movies of your life. The sanskaras go on, the karmas go on, the lives go on. There is no mukti, there is no independence. You are caught in the trap of jivan and mrityu, life after life. But if you are able to do what Patanjali says, yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha, he says start with the basic, start with the bare minimum, start with your thoughts and bring them under control one by one. Practice controlling the thoughts. Now let's just imagine Jaishankar. If Jaishankar was able to practice this yoga, which Patanjali is suggesting, be in the now and to reduce your thoughts, he would have been in no pain. Today he is suffering because his body is suffering. His body is suffering, so his mind is suffering. His mind is suffering, so probably his family also is suffering. Whatever happens to us happens to people around us also. Our mind is like a transmitter. It is constantly transmitting and receiving. So what Jaishankar is going through is being experienced by other people also. I'm sure many in the group, after having heard him, felt his pain, felt compassionate towards him. So the pain got transmitted. And I'm sure many of you have put him in your prayers. So the beneficial part, thought, also starts working. But what Patanjali says
Sir,
is,
can I ask something?
yeah, please ask.
Sir, sir, if I reduce the thought, suppose I'm a student and
Yeah,
I'm preparing for some my exam,
yeah.
and if I reduce my thought, my mind become calm. Will I be able to concentrate on my studies? Will I be able to grasp more?
Yes, your ability to grasp will shoot up because your concentration will be at the highest level now.
But sir, then I have to focus on many things. So thoughts are obviously coming.
No, you see one thing at a time. That is the golden mantra. One thing at a
Even sir,
time.
that is regarding my course. Suppose I am studying four subjects. So thoughts
Okay.
are obviously coming. I have to do this subject. I have to do this, and I have to do this chapter.
Thoughts of four subjects cannot come together, Sonika. When you are studying subject one, your thought should be on subject one. When you're studying subject two, your thought should be solely on subject two. When you are studying subject three, your thought should be solely on subject three. When you are studying subject four, your thought should be solely on subject four. And when you are cooking something in the kitchen, your thought should be 100% on cooking in the kitchen. If you are brushing your teeth, your thought should be 100% on brushing your teeth and not daydreaming about those four subjects. You need thought discipline. We all need to understand how to manage our thoughts.
Sir,
Thought is the essential, most critical element of creation which will leave an imprint forever. A thought which you are imprinting in your mind today may come up in your life 100 lives later, because there is a chitta which goes on. It does not die. It carries its imprints into the next life and 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 so on. So each thought is critical. Do not create
Yes,
even one thought which is wrong, which is not of use to you, which is not
yeah,
beneficial to you or society.
sometimes,
Control
sir, it is
each
not
and every
created.
thought.
Sorry,
Sir,
sir,
Ah,
it's not
please.
controlled by us. Sometimes someone says something to us and it hurts us deep. So that thought keep on coming the whole day or for
Yeah,
many days.
you see that is happening because you don't have control over your thoughts. You should be able to ask certain thoughts to leave you, and you should be able to welcome certain thoughts. Your own mind is not able to control its own thoughts. That is why the problem. Your mind has to learn how to control its own thoughts. You have to realize you are the master of your mind, and mind is not the master of you.
Mm. Okay.
sir.
Yeah, please come.
So, in case of Mr. Jaishankar, as he mentioned that he has a problem in one of his eyes. So, and yoga is about being in the present, and that's a reality in present, right?
Yeah.
So, that is a thought which is, as per yoga, is also natural, right?
You see, I told you there are two kinds of thoughts which are beneficial for you and thoughts which are not beneficial for you.
Mm,
Beneficial in what way? Any
mm,
thought which takes you on the path to yoga, path to the infinite, path to the divine, path to the
mm,
unlimited, path on the universal, that is
mm,
welcome.
mm.
Any thought which is taking you away from that, which is making you
Mm.
limited, which is making you small, which is making you weak, is not to be entertained.
So, can we control that, sir?
Yes, why not? It is your mind. You are the master of your mind. Mind is a tool.
So, I mean, just to understand, do we cover that part also during this course as to how to control that?
The
I
entire
mean,
course is about that only. That is what we have been discussing right from day one.
right.
The definition of yoga is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. How to put your thoughts under control, how to seize your thoughts. There are various methods of doing it. We will do each method so that you
Right, sir.
become proficient in controlling your thoughts. When you
Mm.
are able to control your thoughts, you become the master of your destiny. You can put in any thought you want and it will fructify. You have to understand each thought is like a seed. Each
This
thought,
thought,
each thought from a vritti becomes a sanskara, becomes a vasana, becomes a sankalp, and then a karma. If
yeah.
you are programming your mind that I want to be the best guy in Kolkata in terms of wealth, and if you are able to program your chitta properly, it will happen in real life for you.
Right, sir.
Okay?
Right,
So
sir.
that is how the yogis used to get siddhis. They used to apply their concentration, apply their meditation and samadhi on a particular siddhi, and it used to happen for them. They could
Sure.
have the power to become as small as an atom. They could have the power to go through Earth. They could have the power to touch the moon. They could have the power to fly. They could have the power to walk on water because it is a science. I am
Right.
exposing you to that science. I am exposing you to what is the ancient knowledge of this country. And I don't expect you to follow me blindly. I would like you to do those exercises, practice it, check it out for yourself. Whether what I'm saying, how true it is. Does it sound logical to you? Does it sound scientific to you? Does it sound practical to you? That is
Mm,
that is what this journey is all about. This is a journey of
mm.
exploration, discovery of the human mind. That is why I said you will go into areas where you have never gone before, and you will be surprised with what is there for you.
Mm.
Okay?
What you just mentioned, sir, that every thought is going to be provoked later in the life for many many more times that we get birth. So that is
Maybe.
like an that is
May-
like something amazing which has provoked a kind of a internal some kind of a chord. It's been very touching, sir. Amazing.
I will tell you what your life is today. Okay. Imagine yourself in a movie hall 20 years back and see yourself in the projector room. So there is a reel out there. That reel has small frames put together, and each memory, each sanskara is like that frame. And when that reel is run at a speed of 24 frames per second, it seems like a continuous movie in the
Correct.
movie hall, right?
Correct.
So the chitta is that reel. Sanskaras are that memory frames.
Mm,
And when you connect it to the electric supply so that the reel can run, that is the food you eat.
mm,
And the Atma, the Purusha, the soul, is the light bulb of the projector. And
mm,
when you put it on, the reel starts moving. The screen out
mm,
there in the theater hall is your life,
mm,
and you see it running. So all your past karmas of all your past lives is actually
mm,
creating your now, actually creating
mm,
your present moment. And you're
mm,
seeing it in three dimensions. You're seeing it with your five sense organs in real time.
mm,
It is
mm,
your own life which is being shown to you moment to moment. And you have
right.
the choice, the power of choice, to choose a new karma or to allow the old karmas to run out. When the
Mm,
old karmas run out, when the entire movie runs out and you don't add
mm,
anything else to it,
mm,
then there is no Sumit Kedia Part 2. Sumit Kedia Part 1, the movie is over, the end happens, and Sumit Kedia gets liberation from this life. Okay, he
right.
acquires powers over the entire Prakriti. He can do anything, and he is liberated. But if Sumit Kedia acts, Sumit Sureka acts, if Sumit Sureka does some action, so then
Mm,
he's recording new sanskaras. Then he's creating
right.
Sumit Sureka Part 2.
Mm,
So that Part 2 will play out. Then
mm,
if he continues his action, if he thinks I am the doer, I am the boss, I will do this, I will do that, this is good, this is bad, who knows, I know, then he creates Sumit Sureka Part 3. So
mm,
we have been running these videos, these movies for God knows how many life forms.
mm,
Okay? That is what yoga says. Ki
mm,
the beginning is beginningless, but the end is with you. You may end it whenever you want. And when you end it, it is a grand ending. You are liberated. You become a Mukta Purush. You come out of the cycle of births and deaths. And then
mm,
you're free for eternity. You're no longer trapped in
mm,
happiness and sorrow cycles.
mm,
So that is one end of the spectrum where you want freedom. But while
mm,
you are going towards freedom, you pick up powers. As your mind
mm,
becomes peaceful, more and more peaceful, it picks up more and more powers. It
mm,
picks up more and more siddhis. And
mm,
those siddhis can be used for the benefit of society. Those siddhis can be used for the benefit of mankind. Or at a smaller scale, those siddhis can be used for the benefit of your family, for the benefit of your community, for the benefit of your
mm,
society, for the benefit of your country. It depends. Those siddhis can be used for your enjoyment. It is up to you. If you use them for your enjoyment, you add on those kind of karmas. And then we have
mm.
Sumit 2, Sumit 3, Sumit 4 also happening. Are you getting me?
So, is it important to understand whether oneself has attained Siddhi?
Uh, one can make out when you have a siddhi, you have supernatural powers which are not
Mm-hmm.
natural. You have extraordinary powers which ordinary people do not have. You have supernormal powers.
Mm-hmm.
You will be a genius, somebody like Albert Einstein, somebody who is phenomenal at the world level. Those
Mm-hmm.
people have those siddhis and they have applied those siddhis in their particular fields.
Mm-hmm.
But even their siddhis are restricted to modern day uh, natural laws of science. But
Mm-hmm.
what a yogi can do goes beyond the natural laws of science, right? So when it is
Mm-hmm.
supernatural, then it is
Mm-hmm.
called a siddhi. When it
Okay.
is supernormal, then it is called a siddhi. People with high concentration powers can reach high levels in society. That is the only way to reach high levels in society. But people who have acquired complete control over their thought, who have controlled the nature of their thought, just not the number of thoughts, the nature of the thought also, they are able to transcend. They are able to cross over from the current universal powers, current universal laws to the other universe laws. They can restructure the universe. They can reshape the universe. The laws of science, modern day science, don't apply to them because they have a different understanding of this universe. We will come to it. There's a cosmos theory of Sankhya and Yoga based on which the yogis work. It is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. And you have to remember this whole creation is a creation of the mind. And whatever you believe in is true. Whatever you believe in will happen. It is like a mirror. You're standing in front of a mirror. And you say, I want to be a clown, this world will make you a clown. If you say, I want to be a top businessman, the world will make you a top businessman. But you must do it with the right intention. You must do it genuinely. Your sanskaras must get recorded. Then the vasanas come, then the sankalp comes, and then the karmas come. The world will give you exactly what you want, but you must know how to take it from this world. Okay? That is a science by itself. That is a science by itself. So yoga talks about it. Now, what we do is I run a program called Master Key System. That is a program which is a program meant for worldly achievements. If you want to achieve things in the world, then fine. This is it. Yoga is a program that teaches you the science of everything. So now, once having learned this, if you want to achieve worldly pleasures, you can. If you want to achieve spiritual heights, you can. The choice is now yours. The decision is yours. The responsibility is yours. The karmic account will come to you. So Patanjali Yoga Sutras is one notch higher. And it goes to the very basics of human psychology, human achievement, and the creation of this cosmos. You can do anything. You can do virtually anything. Okay?
Right, sir.
Good you asked the question. Sorry?
Thank you, sir.
Sir, where this course is happening, Master Key, which you are just telling?
Yeah, Master Key System is a course we do. I will put up the poster in the group so you'll have an idea. And if you have any questions, you can ask. That is essentially meant for worldly achievements.
Actually, I'm
Sir.
asking for someone. Okay.
Sorry?
I was asking for someone. Someone wants to do this.
No, I'm not able to understand you.
सर मैं किसी और के लिए मतलब नॉट फॉर मी मुझे इसकी डिटेल्स चाहिए थी सर इस कोर्स की
हाँ मैं ग्रुप में डाल दूंगा आप उनको पास ऑन कर दीजिएगा इन केस दे हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस दे कैन कांटेक्ट
ओके
या सो हाँ बोलिए
सर संकल्प एक बार बस बताइए what is sankalp?
Sankalp is making a declaration based on willpower.
Okay.
And what happens is when something becomes deep inside you, Sankalp comes automatically, naturally. It just happens. The body, the mind takes over and it happens.
Okay.
Let me give you an example of this Sanskar Chakram. Okay. Say for instance, I see my friend smoking. So the thought goes into me, "Arey yaar, why is he smoking? Maja aata hai kya? Is it good?" Okay. And then I see him smoking again, second time, third time, fourth time. Now I have a desire to smoke. Okay. So this is one Sanskar Chakra. Seeing him smoke 2, 3, 4 times, I developed a sanskara. Then I developed a vasana, a desire, and then there was a sankalp. Okay, yaar, let me smoke. Kya hota hai? Let me see. And then I do the karma. I smoke. Now, when I smoke, I don't like it, but I want to impress my friends that yes, I am also a manly guy. So I smoke it the second time. I smoke it the third time. And again, the sanskar chakra goes, it starts as a thought, then it becomes a sanskara, then it becomes a vasana, then there is a sankalp, and then there is a karma, and it happens. Then now I become addicted to it. Now this sanskar chakram has taken me deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper inside. Okay. Now, even if I want to leave smoking, I cannot leave smoking. Because the addiction has come. What started as a vritti has become a deep tendency, a deep vasana now, deep desire. It has become like a burning desire. I need 20 cigarettes a day now. Okay, I'm telling this to you out of my personal
Okay.
experience. Huh? That is how it starts.
Okay.
So whatever you are able to program in your mind will work. If you tell yourself, I am all right, I am healthy, I am happy. If you repeat to yourself with emotion, you will form those sanskaras. You have to repeat like a mantra. Then those sanskaras get formed, those vasanas get formed, that sankalp comes, and the body starts repairing itself. And then the karma comes. Okay? So
Okay, sir.
so
Okay.
whatever we are thinking is actually impacting our life, not only this life, but all future lives. And whatever we are thinking may not be coming from us, it may be coming from our past lives. It may be forcing us to think that way. So we have to break the chain somewhere, or else this will go on and on and on and on. So you intentionally choose certain karmas which give you sanskaras, which stop other sanskaras. So you bring in the sanskara of, say, Ishwar. You bring in the sanskara of, say, Om. You bring in the sanskara of not lying. You bring in the sanskara of non-violence. You bring in the sanskara of non-stealing. You bring in the sanskara of, I would say, cleanliness. You bring in the sanskara of contentment. Now, these sanskaras are good sanskaras. These are good thoughts. These are good vrittis. They will remove all the other kachara from you. But then there will come a time and a date when even these will have to be removed by you. Are you getting me?
Sir, for if the sanskaras that you told, like not lying, cleanliness, or when, for what will I remove these? Because these are good sanskaras.
Okay, when one has to get liberated, liberation will only happen when there are no sanskaras.
Okay. Okay.
So if there
Is
are any
sir,
sanskaras left, you will go into another life. When there are no
so,
sanskaras left, then you become free.
so mukti is liberation.
Mukti is liberation, that's right.
Okay.
So where does it all start? It starts with again that same Patanjali definition: yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha.
Nirodha. Okay.
Keep on reducing your thoughts. Keep on reducing your thoughts. So now, when you have to reduce your thoughts, what thoughts will you reduce first? You will reduce those thoughts which are not beneficial to you. And then a time will come when the other thoughts which are good for you, but they are not good for liberation, will have to be released. Are you getting me? Now,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay. So very important. The first sutra, Atha Yoga Anushasana.
Atha yoga.
Right now is the Yoga Anushasan working. It is in the present. Okay. And second is keep on reducing your thoughts. Keep on reducing your thoughts. That's it.
Sir,
As simple as that. And when you are aware about your thoughts, you will find your thoughts getting reduced on its own. Awareness will reduce thoughts on its own. If you are not aware about its thoughts, it may grow like wildfire. But if you're aware about your thoughts, if you're keeping a watch over your thoughts, if you're attentive to your thoughts, then you will find the thoughts are not increasing. They will start diminishing. That is the beauty of the mind. If you keep a watch over the mind behaves. If you don't keep a watch over the mind will take you for a six. It will take you round in circles and circles.
sir.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned that we need to reduce the thoughts and be in the present. And thoughts are of five kinds. So of that five kinds, the first one being the right knowledge. So when we are always reading or through our senses, we are getting the right knowledge. They are provoking thoughts all the time. right?
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
while we are acquiring all the knowledge and we are doing all the reading on Google or maybe a book, the thoughts which are coming, how do we reduce the thoughts in that situation? Because
I said there are two kinds of thoughts which are beneficial to you on the path of yoga, thoughts which are not beneficial to you on the path of yoga. So,
Hmm.
what thoughts are not beneficial to you? Let me tell them, though I wanted to tell them later, but just for your information right now. First is ignorance. I do not know who I am.
Hmm.
There is divinity in me which I am not aware of. That is the cause of all ignorance of a human being. Second is the ego. Third is attraction, getting attracted to certain things in life. That deviates you from the path of yoga. Fourth is aversion to certain things in life. And the fifth is clinging to life, wanting to live. Nobody wants to die. That is a natural instinct in human beings, in all animal forms, in all living forms. They don't want to die. Okay, so these are the five hindrances on the path of yoga. What will be beneficial on the path of yoga? Uh, Reading Patanjali Yoga Sutras is beneficial on the path of yoga. Doing thought control exercises is beneficial on the path of yoga. Anything which gives you knowledge about the self, about the Atma, about the soul, about the spirit, about the Purusha is beneficial. Any knowledge which makes you a good person, constructive person is beneficial. But there will come a time when you will have to leave knowledge of even Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, Guru Granth Sahib, Bible, all of it. Because they have served their purpose. They have brought you to the doorway of liberation. The purpose of these literature, these scriptures, is to take you to God, take you to liberation, take you to the ultimate state. Once you have reached the ultimate state, then they have to go. You have to open the door on your own and enter. Okay. So that is what I mean. That when you start, what is beneficial for you might have to be left when you reach the end of the road. You cannot enter with that baggage. You enter alone. Okay, clear?
Mm-hmm. Right, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I can take one last question.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, please.
So, how would you know that the time has come to leave the good thoughts?
It will come. You will know. You will
Okay.
know. You see, as you keep on rising higher and higher, what was good for you will no longer be good for you. So you will reach a stage in life where you'll have to. Patanjali says in the last chapter, as you keep on rising, you reach a stage where you become omnipotent and omniscient. That means you have all the power possible in this universe and all the knowledge which is possible in this universe. And only if you detach yourself from it will you become liberated. You will get to know.
Sir,
Yeah.
you say you talked about the five hindrances.
Yeah.
Can you just repeat that? And if they have any like Sanskrit words, like the current.
I can repeat the Sanskrit words, but we will not discuss it. Okay, because it is
Okay,
a
sir.
complete
Okay.
separate discussion. I just answered it, spoke about it just to give him some clarity at this point of time.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sumit is a inquisitive person, so he likes to ask questions. So I thought let me give him something so that he can munch over it and digest it. But if you
Yes.
want to know the Sanskrit terms, then ignorance is avidya, ego
Avidya.
is asmita,
Asmita.
attachment is raga,
Hmm.
aversion is dvesha, and I think
Okay.
the last one is abhineshwa. I can't recollect the exact word. I think it is abhineshwa.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, so one last question and then we finish. Any question? No? Fine. Any feedback? Is this speed good enough for you or was I going fast?
No, sir, it's good enough. Sir, can I ask something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, we are here with our past karmas and we have to expiate it. So if we reduce our thought, can we expiate that karma?
You see, all karma which has come in has to be experienced. And what can be done is you can create a counter karma and you can burn the karmas. So
With
those are,
good cause,
sorry?
with good cause, can I reduce my bad causes? It will burn that.
It will burn through knowledge. We will come to it. Those are higher level things. I think you are a well-read person. We will come to it. Give me some time. We are on a good journey of 21 days. We are on the second day today. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me build it up for everybody so that everybody gains out of it. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
सर
हाँ बोलिए.
कर्म तो हम लोग एवरी डे करते हैं.
हाँ.
माने कर्म के बिना तो कोई भी मनुष्य शायद रह भी नहीं सकता. वो तो
Okay.
थॉट्स तो ऑटोमेटिकली उसका जनरेट भी होगा और माने न्यू थॉट्स भी आएंगे. तो
Okay.
ये बहुत कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी लग रहा है सब कुछ.
नहीं, कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी नहीं है. मैं फिर रिपीट करता हूँ. योग चित्त वृत्ति निरोध, मतलब उसको कमाते चलिए. थॉट्स को कमाते चलिए. जैसे आप थॉट्स को कमाते चलेंगे वैसे आपके नए संस्कार कम बनेंगे और एक दिन ऐसा आ जाएगा संस्कार बनना बंद हो जाएंगे. और जब संस्कार बनना बंद हो जाएंगे तब आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि पुराने संस्कारों का क्या करना है. आपको मुक्ति चाहिए तो पुराने संस्कारों को आपको जलाना पड़ेगा. या? तो रातों रात आपके जो वृत्तियां हैं वो बंद नहीं हो जाएंगी. अनलेस कोई चमत्कार हो जाए, आप पे ईश्वर की कृपा हो जाए, वो बंद नहीं हो जाएंगी. तो आपको उस पे काम करके उसको धीरे धीरे कम करना होगा. थॉट्स को सुलाना होगा. लोग आगे और भी देखेंगे कि थॉट्स की वैरायटी क्या है और कौन से थॉट्स को रखना है, कौन से थॉट्स को नहीं रखना है. तो उसमें और क्लैरिटी आने से आपकी बॉडी को वो हैबिट हो जाएगी और जब बॉडी माइंड को हैबिट हो जाएगी तो वो ऑटो प्रोसेस में चलने लगेगा और आपके थॉट्स अपने आप घटने लगेंगे. थोड़ा सा और चलिए आगे. अभी रास्ता बाकी है.
जैसे ना मेमोरी से भी कई जो थॉट्स आते हैं.
हाँ.
जिसका कि आज की डेट में कोई मतलब नहीं है बट वो आ जाते हैं.
हाँ.
कई बार बहुत परेशान करते हैं. तो
हाँ.
मतलब वो सबसे एकदम चाहते हैं कि वो नहीं रहा है क्योंकि वो बहुत लाइफ में डिस्टर्बेंस क्रिएट करता है बट उसका कोई यूज नहीं है.
बारिश.
हाँ, तो नहीं तो हम आपसे एक सवाल पूछते हैं कि थॉट्स जो हैं वो किसको आते हैं? आपको आते हैं? कहाँ पे आते हैं? आपके मेमोरी से आते हैं.
हाँ.
और आपके अंदर आते हैं थॉट्स और डिस्टर्ब किसको करते हैं? आपको करते हैं. तो एक्शन किसको करना है? आपको करना है. सबसे पहले तो आपको अपने माइंड को अपने कंट्रोल में लेना है कि भैया तू मेरा माइंड है, जैसे मैं बोलूं वैसा कर. अभी माइंड आपका नहीं सुनता है इसलिए आपको दिक्कत हो रही है. तो आपको सबसे पहले माइंड को अपने बस में करना है. माइंड को डिसिप्लिन करना है. माइंड को डिसिप्लिन करने का तरीका क्या है? जो आप माइंड को बोले माइंड से वो करवाइए. आप छोड़ देते हैं माइंड को, इसलिए माइंड आपको घुमाने लगता है. माइंड को काबू में करिए. मान लीजिए आपके पास एक कुत्ता है और वो आपकी नहीं सुने और फुल टाइम आपसे अपनी बातें सुन रहा है. मान लीजिए कि आपके पास एक कुत्ता हो जो आपकी नहीं सुने, उल्टा वो फुल टाइम यही चाहे कि आप उसकी सुनो. तो आपकी क्या क्या दशा हो जाएगी? कुत्ता आपका है, आपने पाला है, तो उसको आपकी सुननी है। खाना आप उसको खिलाते हैं, उसको आपकी सुननी है। उसी तरीके से मन किसका है? आपका है, उसको आपका सुनना है। आपका नहीं सुन रहा है तो मन को ठोक बजाकर ठीक करिए। क्लियर है ये बात? ये चीज सभी के लिए है। मन हमारा है, हमारा नहीं सुन रहा है, तो हमको सबसे पहले तो अपने मन को बस में करना है। या चलिए, लेट्स क्लोज। Thank you so much. God bless each one of you. See you tomorrow, same time. अगेन आप लोग 10 मिनट समय निकालिए और अपने थॉट्स को लिखिए, एंड कल देखते हैं कि किसी और के साथ डिस्कस करते हैं कि उनको क्या थॉट्स आ रहे हैं, एंड देन वी विल टेक इट अप फ्रॉम देयर। राइट देन, थैंक यू सो मच. गॉड ब्लेस ईच वन ऑफ यू. नमस्कार.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.